Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a great show lineup, special guest here. But first, let's take a look at our weather. Before we get to weather, I want to thank Billy Graham for taking care of the show yesterday. Did a great job. Enjoy those New York City pictures, and that's a little ways from Jackson County, but we'll talk more about that later on. But anyway, let's move on with the weather, brought to us by Drew Pollard's company, Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, taking care of our everyday comfort needs, and be pretty comfortable today. High 77, low of 61. Water temperature, though, this is interesting. It is dropped down to 61. It had been up to 63 last week, so it has dropped down to 61 at the end of the pier. So it's going to go low a little bit, then it's going to start coming up, and we're going to start pretty soon, start talking about that third fog in March, okay? Our river reading, take a look at our river readings. The Apalachicola Bluntstown is still high, folks. It's at 15 foot, and it's going to be dropping later on, but it's still high, been high for a couple of weeks, looks like. The Choctaw Carabelle, it's at 10 foot. And if you look at it, it's got a little bit of we thought it was going to drop out yesterday, but it stayed up there pretty high at 10 foot. Okay, the tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. What great tides we have today and the rest of the week, all the way through the weekend. I'm talking about some of the strongest tides we've had so far this year. The low tide this morning is at 3:53, and it's coming in strong to about 4:48 this evening. It's going to be aided by a southeast wind at 13, so a lot of stuff is going to be pushed up there by the shoreline, so it's going to be really good, strong tide today. Okay, let's take a break. The wind will be coming, like I said, the southeast wind now is going to be really strong, but it's going to be coming in. It's going to start lower today, then build up in the afternoon. So be aware of that morning. It won't be that bad during the morning wind. Okay, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back and welcome to Travis.
Good morning.
Good to have you again.
Yes, sir.
Officer Travis Bashford is always great about coming on, and we're glad to have you. And I sent him. We always talk about what we're going to do for the show, and
right.
And we always get too much to do. But one of the things we want to do first, one of our viewers, Gary Taylor, is just a consummate outdoorsman, and he really loves outdoors. He got a good question. He sent me an email he wanted you to answer, and they're talking about basically. The Appalachians, some areas have a lot of food plots and all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
Why can't we do that in Bay County? And so here's your answer. We talked about it. It's a good answer. So.
Yeah, and I'll touch on it, and I'd like to elaborate even more next time. But basically, and I know it was focusing on Bay County. I mean, we have wildlife management areas and stuff all over the state. But the three we have in Bay County, we've got Pine Log State Forest, we have Tyndall Air Force Base, and then of course we have Econfina Wildlife Management Area being the biggest as far as the wildlife management areas go in Bay and Washington County. But each one is kind of primarily managed by a different entity. And if you start with Pine Log State Forest, that one's actually the smaller of the three. It's managed by the Division of Forestry, and their focus is going to be on forest resources, the plants and the timber. Now, FWC does come in on the wildlife side, and we do have rules in our Florida Administrative Code. We do have some biologists and things like that. In Pine Log State Forest, they actually do have food plots, because I believe the question was about why don't we have food plots in all our management areas. Yeah. And in Pine Log, we do. It's a quota area, though. So we've got limited entry. I believe it's either 50 or 60 that you have for muzzle-loading gun season and general guns. So they have some food plots. They actually have a dove field there by the boat ramp. If you look at Tyndall, that's managed by the U.S. government. There's a Fish and Wildlife officer there that does that. And then when you come to Econfina, it's primarily managed by Northwest Florida Water Management District.
The three different entities are managing that. Okay.
Right, and on the district land, their priority is water resource management.
Okay.
So FWC is involved in all three. Our officers patrol, and we do have rules that we enforce, but I guess the main difference is if you look at the two, Pine Log and Econfina in particular, because Tyndall is a federal thing, the differences being one's managed by the Water Management District, one by the Division of Forestry, and another thing too, like we talked about, I know we sit here and talk about this stuff on the breaks. If you have a food plot and it's not a limited quota entry area, it's not a quota permit, you have so many people that would be competing for that
You would.
food plot.
Yeah, everybody.
Right. Whereas in Pine Log, it's kind of small, and it's really managed on who can hunt during those seasons. So that's kind of the answer in short. I'll elaborate a little more on it and who you can reach out to. I know the district has meetings just like the commission has meetings. It might be something to bring up there, but that's kind of the answer in short.
Okay, great answer. So Greg Taylor, you got your answer right there, buddy. And thank you for staying tuned and always keeping us on our toes, asking good questions like that. Okay, let's move on.
And a lot of people wonder about stuff like that,
Yeah.
how all that stuff's done. So anyways, moving on. I mean, we're wrapping up with gun season. General Gun's going to wrap up on the 19th this coming weekend, and then we're going to have a week of muzzleloading gun season. I know a lot of people have had a successful deer season. We've had a pretty cold winter. So, and then also just want to remind everybody in this western Panhandle region for sea trout, spotted sea trout, speckled trout, they're closed for the entire month of February for harvest. You can catch and release, but you have to close.
And some people are still going and catching and releasing them.
They are.
Staying in practice.
They are, and some people just love catching them.
Yeah.
And January, February, it's a great time to trout fish.
Yeah. it's fun.
They do congregate during that time. I know Deer Point Dam up in the creeks, Burnt Mill, Crooked Creek, Sandy Creek, people have been going and catching them. So another thing too I want to talk about, we just finished up with waterfowl season, but I know you do this for years with outdoor ed, but it's our job to pass this down to the next generation. The things that we do, fishing, hunting, enjoying the great outdoors. We've got a youth waterfowl hunt, we got a youth deer hunt, and a youth turkey hunt coming up. And it's just a great way because every time we have one of those hunts, it's closed for everybody else. And under 16, the youth get to go out there and they have a better chance for success. And we want to continue that stuff. I mean, the youth hunt being at the end of duck season too, sometimes that's the best time to hunt.
It is.
And so anyways, got some friends of mine, took their kids out there, had a good time on that. But the turkey one coming up, that's going to be on March 11th and 12th. And again, less than 16. It will be closed for everybody else. That's before the season. Let them get an early start and see if they can harvest a turkey. So.
And be sure and send us some pictures of that. I know some folks in Apalachicola Bay. They took some kids on the youth hunt.
Yes.
And that's really good stuff. So send us pictures. We'll share. But Travis is right about getting these young people exposed to it. It's really good.
We need to. And I know Nicole and I, we took our kids deer hunting this year.
Yeah.
And they didn't get anything, but they got to see some.
That's cool.
So that was good right here at the end of the season. And they enjoy that. I mean, it's just so important to pass that down, keep it fun for them. I know when I was a little kid, I didn't care much about deer hunting because you didn't want to sit still so much. I'd rather go squirrel hunting or bird hunting. So it's fun, though.
That's good. Okay, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with Travis. Okay, welcome back. Officer Travis Bassford with the Fish and Wildlife Commission. Used to be the Game and Fish Commission and Florida Marine Patrol, but they combined it, in the late 90s somewhere?
Yes, sir, 1999.
Okay, it's good to have, always good to have Travis. I want to say a belated happy birthday to Christina Caswell, who works at the Walter County Property Appraiser's Office and up in the Funiac Springs. Hope everybody's doing well up there. I hadn't heard from the Bent Rod Fishing Club lately, so y'all touch base with me. Let me know what's going up there in Walton County. Okay, Travis, what we got there, buddy?
Well, I mean, we got a lot going on. One thing I just wanted to remind everybody of, I know we talked about this earlier. When it came out with deer, we talked about it quite a bit. But the new, basically, the logging and reporting your harvest turkey this year. It's going to be a requirement. It started actually in the fall. Most people target turkey in the springtime. We've got that coming up, and it's going to be the same thing as deer, basically.
Okay.
You're going to have really two main options. You can go online or use the app, the Fish Hunt Florida app.
Okay.
I highly recommend that because you can log and report your turkey all at once. It's very user friendly. I've done it with deer several times personally, and it works really good. Another option is still the paper harvest, where you can take that into the field, and when you harvest your turkey, before you move the bird, fill out the paper log, and then you have 24 hours to report that.
Okay.
And you can call the number, and we can have Jeff put that on there later, but it's 888-HUNT Florida. Call within 24 hours, and then report your bird. So this is going to be the first spring that we've had this. This is going to help on data collection.
Right.
It's also going to help on the enforcement side for FWC officers. If we check somebody and they've harvested a turkey, it needs to either be documented on your log, your harvest report log, or you need to have done it on the app or online. And I just want to remind everybody, because I mean it's coming up quick, and it's something we've never had.
Yeah.
But other states have been doing it for a long time, and I think it's really going to help here in Florida. So
yeah, I think so too. Anytime we can help data collection, which is going to help the management, it's as simple as that. And
absolutely.
If you overharvest, like it wasn't too long ago up in Holmes County, we had to cut out turkey hunting because,
for several years.
For several years, and that was the reason. So maybe that could be prevented now if you see it start going down, and so that's a good deal. So the app, how do they get the app? It's called Fish Hunt.
Fish Hunt Florida.
Fish Hunt Florida.
Just search it on your apps. You can get it on a Droid or an Apple device, and it's very user friendly. And then you'll have a thing. Actually, you can pull up your licenses. I would say probably at least 50% of the licenses I check now personally, it's electronic.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you either take and that's the thing. If you don't have service, take a screenshot of it, save it to your photos. You've always got it, or you can just pull it up on the app. You can purchase your license, you can view your current licenses to see where you're at and when they're going to run out, and then you have your harvest reporting system as well.
It's changed a little bit from this pulling a pickup truck over the side of the road and where's my wallet and got to get out and all that. So just flash that out. It has changed. That's interesting.
And that stuff's still good. I mean, they've had that hard card for a long time because the ink on some of the paper stuff fades. But anyways, just want to remind everybody on that. And then we've got, transition to spring fishing. It's coming up. I heard you talk about the third foggy day of March. We'll have Spanish and everything like that before we know it. So, anyways, what else has been going on with you?
Okay, well, you got to see the show on the redfish release.
That was really cool.
That's really interesting. Had your district director down there, and it was everybody enjoyed that. I always get interested. There's always some folks that maybe don't think we need that many redfish or something, but. It's interesting, but the redfish are important. I know y'all do a lot of checking.
We do, and I know that was such a cool show. I think most people will agree it's great to have more redfish in the bay. And CCA does a great job with all that stuff. And looking forward, this spring we're going to try to have Gina Alvarez, our marine fisheries biologist, on.
Good.
She has a really interesting study on redfish and how they've been managing them different in the state. A lot of good data that, a lot of us, we don't see that stuff. And she can speak to that a little more, but excited to get her on. And like we talked about too on the break, we've got a new recruiter here, Officer Carl Hellett from the Northwest region. And we'd like to get him on as well. And I know we were talking, going into schools, going to career days, colleges, and outreach events, trying to tell everyone what we do and then explain to them the process if they do want to get hired on.
Yeah, that's really good. And speaking of releasing now, the Maricultural Center, also they have a speckled trout hatchery.
Oh, that's
and they've been starting to releasing those, and I was talking to them, and they're interested in putting some speckled trout up in this area. So it's not just redfish, they do speckled trout. And you know about the history of the catfish hatcheries many, many years ago, how the catfish and the brim and the bass hatchery. So these hatcheries are vital to our resources.
Absolutely. It's an important part of the management, and it's really cool. Like back to that video, when they were releasing, they had the kids go down there in the water and release some. It was really, really neat.
Yeah, and we always, some of the guys that grew up down there, the first thing they were looking at, they were looking for the birds to see if the birds, because they knew that once the birds started diving, they were going to start feeding on them. But it looked like they were staying down low because the birds didn't show up. But all those little things that we study stuff in college about biology and all that, but then nothing like the old timer seeing it firsthand and say, okay, here's what's going on.
Exactly.
And so that was a mixture. I thought it was really cool because I'm looking at these guys that grew up in fish Apalachicola their whole life, and looking at these scientists that are coming in, and that combination, I thought that was a cool time there.
Absolutely, bringing people together for the good of the resource.
Yep. Everything else. Y'all are transitioning into, like I said, into hunting season, into spring. So
we are, and
have you got your boat motors and everything charged up, batteries charged?
Yeah, that's part of it because they do sit a little bit in the wintertime. We try to still run them, periodically. But yeah, I mean, we're excited about it. Excited to get out in the water. I mean, we've had a few days where it's got mid-70s.
I know.
So a lot of people have taken advantage of that, and they've been getting out already. So
I know. We're going to tomorrow's show. We're talking about the Coast Guard auxiliaries coming on, and we're going to start talking about boat safety and some different things and all. And I would encourage you in all your school systems to make sure that somewhere in that curriculum, in some class, that they take the Florida Safe Boating Of course, it can be
That's a great
done
idea.
in outdoor ed, but it can be done in a PE class or some other class too. But that's a big deal.
Yep. Yeah, we were over yesterday at the Emerald Coast Science Center over in Fort Walton Beach.
Yeah.
We were talking about the same thing, how it's important to get that in schools. They've got a great exhibit there on boating safety. They actually have a pontoon boat and a
good.
PWC and a kayak, and able to show the kids, hey, this is important from an early age.
Aren't you seeing a lot more pontoon boats now than we used to have? Isn't that something? We've talked about it here on the show, how the usage of pontoon, and they're so family friendly.
They are.
And that's why, but we'll get some people that don't know what to do when it's scary.
Right, and that's where we want to start with the education side of it,
Yeah.
make sure people know, hey, this is what the navigation channel looks like, this is what you're looking at when you look at this buoy or this sign. So, yeah, it was really good. And like I said, that was a really cool exhibit they had over there in Fort Walton.
And now, where was that?
It's called the Emerald Coast Science Center over in Fort Walton.
Emerald Coast Science Center. Y'all check it out. It was good stuff there, and some other science centers could maybe copy that and do it in other areas. Let's take our final break, and we'll be right back with our case of the month. Okay, welcome back. Take a quick look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Our time this morning is 6:20 to 8:20, and this evening from 6:51 to 8:51. One quick picture here. Here's our buddy Levi Phillips, who happens to be Travis's next door neighbor. So Travis, tell about it.
That's a fine buck that Levi harvested up there, and he hunts up there around Baker Hill up in Alabama. And cool story on that one. He had a lot of pictures of him. Mm-hmm. And came in one afternoon chasing a doe, and was able to get a pretty good shot on him. It was getting later in the afternoon. He went down there, looked at the sign, and being an experienced hunter, he realized, hey, I don't want to push this deer. Mm-hmm. When in doubt, back out. And he did. It was getting cold that night, upper 30s. Went back the next morning at daylight and trailed that buck over 200 yards.
Awesome.
And then he was able to recover him. So
awesome.
Big 6 point.
Good job, Levi. Now, case of the month. Here we go.
Case of the month. Okay. I want to recognize several officers here in Bay County. First off being Officer Matt Gore, also Officer Keelan Alsobrooks and Officer Dennis Palmer. Did a great job on this case. I'm going to read a little summary and then we can talk about it. But basically, Officer Gore received a complaint about someone trespassing on some private property here in Central Bay County. The landowner said that someone had put out some corn and was actually hunting on his property. So call Fish and Wildlife. We come in. Officer Gore comes in. He brings Officer Keelan Alsobrooks and Palmer, and they found some fresh drag sign around the corn. And basically, by working the area, they were able to develop a suspect. Found that suspect, did a follow-up interview with the suspect, and he admitted to harvesting a 6 point buck on the property he was trespassing on. They were able to get the buck skull and antlers, seize that, and the .270 rifle that was used to take the deer. And charges are being filed through the state attorney's office for trespassing and for failure to harvest report the deer. Wow. So great job by Officer Gore and the other officers there helping on that case. That's just a small example when we get complaints from a landowner, and then we work those complaints and we're able to catch the guy that was, basically taking some deer on the landowner's property that he could have harvested.
Yeah.
So great job by Officer Gore there, and he also made another good snapper case. He was down there actually around the Deer Point Dam. We know a lot of people fish up there, and had another complaint. Someone was catching undersized mangrove snapper, or gray snapper, and checked the guy. At first, the guy said he didn't have anything. Kind of dug into it a little bit, and he had actually 10 gray snapper that were located. 9 of the 10 were undersized. So
oh my goodness!
Charged him with over the bag limit and possession of undersized gray snapper. So good job by Matt and these other officers here working. Just a good case there. I just wanted to share.
That's a great example of see something, say something. So we had a citizen, a fellow outdoorsman say, that's not right.
Yes.
And they actually saw it and called it in.
And then we were able to get there before he was able to leave and take the guy down and make the case. And, another thing, too, is sometimes we've talked with landowners and they're like, well, I don't want to bother you guys. If you think someone's trespassing on your property, call us. You can call the sheriff's office as well for trespassing. But if it's anything to do with hunting, that's what we specialize in. So if we can catch somebody on your property that's hunting your deer or your turkey or whatever it is, we want to do that, and was able to help that complainant out right there on that deer case. And
that's cool.
Good job by those guys.
Real good job. Are we the night hunting still going on fairly strong? Or?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It sure is, and they've been making some good cases up, especially in the northern counties. I know in Calhoun County and Jackson County. That's been an ongoing thing throughout the season, and they've really been working hard. I know Officer Bryce Gerber over in Working Gulf in Calhoun, has done a really good job this year on night hunting cases as well.
Yeah, I hear things, and I see things on social media too, where guys are riding at night on a four-wheeler and shining, and of course they're saying they're just checking, checking, but all of them aren't just checking.
Right.
And it's interesting. So if you see something, like I say, there's a hotline number, and you call them, or just call FWC, and it's up to us. They can't do it all themselves. It's up to us to sort of report a lot of stuff you see, especially like the fishing and all. You see that guy catching them, and that's enough.
Exactly, and that was a good job by the person who called that in. Just like Coach said, I mean, we can't be everywhere. If y'all see something, say something to us. We put the number on there for Wildlife Alert. You can just Google, FWC Dispatch, give us a call. But Wildlife Alert is a great program where you can actually get a reward for calling in a complaint if it leads to a case.
Oh, you see, real quick, we've done a little bit of traveling recently, and I could not get over the number of dead deer side of the road hit by cars. Are y'all seeing a lot of that?
We are, and it's just the time of year.
Yeah.
They do come out, closer to the road. I remember Arlo mentioned it, last time, starting in bow season and then moving on now. They're looking for food, and then we get into the rut. They kind of start running around crazy doing things they normally wouldn't do. So, yeah, I've been seeing a bunch of roadkill as well.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we got some youth hunts coming up. We'll wrap things up. Got a youth hunt coming up
For turkey, yes, sir. March 11th and March 12th, and wishing everybody good luck there and a good turkey season. I should be on again beginning of March, and we'll talk about that stuff some more. But I know there's a lot of turkey hunters that are getting really excited about right now. So
we're trying to get back on schedule, having Travis like maybe the second Wednesday of each month. So if you want something questioned, I'll get it to us like 3 or 4 days ahead, so we can get it to him. He can answer like Greg Taylor did. So good stuff there.
Sure.
Travis, we appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Enjoy it as always.
Always good seeing you. Always appreciate you keeping us up on what's going on and all. That's important. Straight from the FWC.
Yes, sir.
Folks, we appreciate you watching Panhandle Outdoors. Thank you for your viewership. Do something good today for someone else, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.